don't worry, I'm still working on the American Dad video, but it's going to be taking a little bit longer than I expected. So I decided to focus on another show. It's Invincible. It's an animated adult superhero series that focuses on Mark, a 17-year-old boy who focuses on wanting to become a superhero like his father. But when he gets his powers, he realizes that the whole superhero gimmick is not all as awesome as it plays out to be. And he discovers that his father's true reasons for being on Earth. So far, everybody has been loving this series to hell and back, praising it like it's the next Avatar, or it feels like the Mitchells versus the Machines all over again. And if I'm being truly honest with myself, I had no intentions of watching this show, because, I was already dealing with petty drama at the time when the show came out, and superhero shows are just not really my thing. Apart from Teen Titans, I've just never really been interested in any superhero shows. That's just me. But after deciding, fuck it, I'll watch it because people have been showing me memes of this show and I figured maybe it might be interesting. So I decided to watch it and bro, I was hooked. This show is really fucking cool. And if you haven't seen this show, you better watch it because, spoiler alert, this review or ranking video, yes, I'm going to be doing a ranking video on this show. This review is going to be containing some spoilers for Invincible, so if you haven't seen all 8 episodes, I suggest you watch that before you watch this video. Bear in mind, this is just my personal opinion. If you think that there is an episode here that's better than the other, rank your episodes down. Which episode do you think is the best of the best of the best? Let's jump in. Let's not waste any time. Let's just delve deep into Invincible. Let's do it. For the first episode, I think it is pretty goddamn solid. We get introduced to a lot of characters, from Mark to Debbie to the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean the Globe, sorry. To Nolan, to William, to the Moeller twins, to Art, to Amber. The main plot is focused on Mark trying to control his powers as he recently gained them. And his father decides to coach him through it. And he's failing miserably at it. Like, when he's flying in the sky at night, he busts his ass in the concrete, which is good. You need to show us that our character isn't flawless. Not a Gary Sue or Mary Sue. You need to show us that this character is not perfect at everything. Even after he gets the basics down, he still has a hard time controlling his powers in later episodes, which is good. I do like it. And there's lots of good interactions between the characters. For example, when Mark is talking to his mother, who is average and who is basically just a regular human being that doesn't have powers. He talks to both her and Nolan. And I do like it. I do like the talking, and I do like the interactions between these characters. And overall, all the characters are just likable. They're interesting. You want to see where they go through later down the line. And honestly, some people will be turned off by this because it seems like another generic-ass show. Wait until the end because holy shit. The second he defeats the bootleg Justice League, oh my fucking...
My nigga, they the bootleg Justice League. I mean, look at some of these niggas, bro. We got bootleg Flash, bootleg Wonder Woman, bootleg Batman, bootleg Aquaman, but he's a whole ass, musty ass, stank ass fish. Then we got bootleg Martian Manhunter. And then I don't know who the fuck this supposed to be. I'm just calling Green Bitch. Then we got this nigga. I don't know who the fuck this supposed to be either.
Yo, that changes the show forever. Like, the second Nolan fucking obliterates the Justice League, it's not the same show you thought it was. It's not this fucking generic-ass superhero show you think it's gonna be. No. This is something different, and we're just getting started. With Nolan in the hospital because he ended up killing all the Guardians of the bootleg Justice League, Mark decides to take his place in saving the city, with a few people to help him out. They are known as the Teen Team. We get introduced to a few more characters like Cecil, Donald, Eve, Rex, Robot, Kate, Alan, Demon, Darkblood, and these aliens that come to fight our hero a total of 3 times. And this is where I started to notice that this show does not have plot armor, because there are civilians that fucking die in this episode. There's this old lady that Mark tries to protect, and he ends up crushing her bones. And when he comes back after fighting these guys for the second time, yeah, it turns out she died. Really goes to show that this show doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't care how dark it wants to be. It's just going to be dark for the sake of it. Not for the sake of it, but for a purpose. Usually I don't like blood and gore in shows like Family Guy because they just do it for shock value. But with this one, it's a purpose, like showing that this world is not perfect. This world isn't a fucking Marvel world where everybody can be safe. No. People do fucking die in this world. it's just crazy. So, on their third fight with these alien guys that come back multiple times because it's been decades in their world where they have advanced technology, because the first time they stuck around for the battle, they were aging. And when it came to the second battle, robots stopped them because these wristbands were protecting them from aging from Earth, but they decide we should go back because robot fucking figured us out. And for the third battle, Mark got his ass whooped by this alien guy that has a grudge against him. Like, seriously, he keeps punching the shit out of him, showing us that this character is not perfect and he's still learning, and I do like that. And then Nolan jumps the fuck out of nowhere, grabs this guy and starts beating these fucking aliens' asses. Like, fuck. And then he goes into these aliens' world and he says something that should trigger a lot of red flags for you guys.
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.
Yeah. And what's more fucked up is that Nolan fucking destroyed this alien's planet in the matter of seconds. And when he leaves, he has this rock held up against him, and when he leaves, he fucking drops it on them. That is so fucked. When they make a portal for him, that is so dark. That's so fucked up. And then, at the end of the episode, they announced that the bootleg Justice League is officially dead. I do like this episode because we see more characters, we see Mark working with the other characters, and this is where Mark starts to realize that the superhero work isn't a game. People can die, and you gotta be a little bit more responsible with your powers. With the Guardians of the Globe officially being announced to be dead, Cecil has Robot make his own new Guardians of the Globe. We get introduced to 3 new characters: Black Samson, Shrinking Ray, and finally Monster Girl, who is my personal favorite because she beats the shit out of Rex. I should probably bring this up. Rex ends up cheating on Eve with Kate. 3 versions. Who knew you were a kinky son of a bitch, right? And she actually makes the team, but she decides to go independent because of Rex. Yeah, great job, you fucking asshole. That's just wonderful. And this episode is where Amber and Mark officially become a thing. And I forgot to mention, there was a moment where Eve started to like Mark, so yeah, that could be a thing in the later season. The Molar twins, who were originally sent to prison, got busted out by Robot, which raises a few eyebrows for some people. I like this episode. I think it's pretty good. And I hope in the new seasons we see some expansions, like we get more backgrounds to some of the characters like Shrinking Ray, Monster Girl, because in this season it kind of gives us little breadcrumbs. Like, it's just giving us the little tip of the cream of the crop before they get into the actual cornfield. Like, I'm interested to see where they go with this. I hope the characters get more expansion. I hope they get more development. I want to see their background. I want to see what they do. Like, I'm just eager for more. Because of Dark Blood telling Debbie she needs to start being more observant of what Nolan is doing, she finally catches on to what's going on. We get more scenes of Mark and Amber spending time together. We see the new Guardians of the Globe being settled in, with Robot noticeably taking blood from Rex. And then eventually we get into the plot where Mark goes to space so he can look after the astronauts that are on Mars. They're just exploring around there. Originally, Cecil wanted Nolan to go, but he says, fuck that, I'm staying here. And obviously, Mark fucks up the plan because the humans get kidnapped by the Martians, and the Martians want to kill them because there are these squid-looking things that can take over a person's mind. And what do you know, they end up fucking taking over the Mars civilization. That's just... And I do like the part where Mark comes back just to take something and then leaves. That seems pretty fucking funny. And at the end of the episode, Cecil ends up sending Dark Blood to hell because he told him to stop snooping around, but he ended up doing it anyway. So he has him sent to hell, and it turns out that Cecil knew that Nolan killed the Guardians. This just got a little bit more interesting. And it turns out that Dark Blood left something in Debbie's closet for her to discover later. And it turns out that Robot is working for this fetus-looking thing. How's the episode? I think it's pretty good as well. We don't really focus on the other characters that much. I mean, we get told by Eve that she's dealing with her own personal problems, but we don't really see it until the next episode. And we don't really see what the new Guardians of the Globe are doing. We don't see them in action that much. But luckily they do fix that in the new episode. But this episode, it's pretty good. It's pretty strong. We see a character called Titan who works for this character called Machine Head. And Titan is actually a pretty cool character for the most part. He does these horrible things mainly because, well, Machine Head tells him to. And it shows that he kind of has a heart of gold because there are moments where he does look out for these people. Like, for example, he burned down someone's apartment building and he gave them money to help them out. And he dangled somebody off a building, and when he discovers that this person is actually a family guy,
He said it!
he extends the time to get back the money he owes. Back with Mark, we see that things between him and Amber aren't going so well, which is pretty understandable given the fact that Mark has a lot of superhero responsibilities that he needs to do, to the point where even his work and his school life is sick of it. And then this gets into the point where Amber says that if he doesn't show up to the soup kitchen, she's breaking up with him. As for Debbie, she starts to really get on Nolan's back. She starts to put the pieces together, and even starts to notice that Nolan's suit is the key to find out whether or not he killed the Guardians of the Galaxy. Fuck. Dollar Store Justice League. Fuck it, that's it. Just Justice League. I'm sick and tired of that. Fuck. And she eventually finds it. We see Eve arguing with her family, and it turns out that Papa is as big of a dick as Rex, and he tells his own daughter to get back together with him because men make mistakes. Fuck you. Like, at the same time, I can understand where he's coming from, but come on. The guy cheated on your daughter and broke her heart. What the fuck? What the
is going on?
Being sick and tired of working for Machine Head, Titan eventually asks Mark to help him out. And then this leads Mark to ask his parents what he should do or not. Should he help him? Should he not? Nolan decides to tell Mark that he shouldn't help them, and Debbie tells him that he should just follow his heart. As for the new Guardians of the Globe, they're not really working out as the best team because their last fight got a bunch of people hurt, according to Black Samson. The Molar twin managed to make his own clone, and then Robot jumps in to ask him to make a clone for him, which they decide to do. As for Titan and Invincible, they end up fighting other new supervillains that are introduced. And to put it nicely, they get their fucking asses whooped. Like, even the new Guardians, when they come in to help, they get their fucking asses whooped too. It eventually ends with Mark, Black Samson, and Monster Girl getting fucking bodied by this character Battle Beast. This badass mofo who gives no mofos. And after he's done handling these bitches, he leaves because these guys are beneath him.
And this man got so bored because they were so damn weak, he left. Absolute savagery.
Such a cold-blooded savage. And I wanted to note that Nolan was there, and he could have stopped him, but I guess not. So yeah, I gotta say this episode itself is probably my second favorite. My favorite is the last episode, but we'll get to that later. I gotta say, this has the best action in the entire series. And the best part is that no hero makes it out unscathed. Like, they actually face repercussions for their carelessness and basically just making the wrong decision. And it turns out that Titan planned this whole thing. He actually lied just to get Invincible to help him. But his motives are pure. He does want to help people. And even his family jump in. I'm pretty excited to see what they do with him in the next season. I am really excited. So after this episode, I was pretty much intrigued to see where would they go next. Yeah, so Black Samsung, oh my god, what the fuck? So Black Samson, Monster Girl, and Mark are still in a coma, but because he's the main character, Mark gets out pretty easily, except he has a few more bruises on his face. And in order to make it out to Amber, they decide to go on a trip with William to Upstate University so that they can meet this guy who he's crushing on. But when they get there, there's this guy that's making cyborgs, and one of them almost kills Mark and his friends. Luckily, he does manage to defeat it by taking off its helmet, and it ends up killing itself. That's fucked. And Amber is understandably pissed off at him, so she decides,
You got the fucking nerve to go to some fucking party with some random ass light skinned nigga you barely even know, bitch. I'm Omni-Man your shit right now, cuz on the hood.
yeah, that. And because Mark saw them together, he immediately decides to save his best friend, as William and Rick got kidnapped by this fucking lunatic who thinks that turning humans into cyborgs makes for perfect humanity. As for Debbie, she finally gets a hold of Nolan's suit and takes it to Art, where she finally discovers that Nolan did kill the Guardians. And she confronts his ass, not being scared at all. She even throws her wine at him. Damn, you got some fucking guts, woman. You're fucking awesome. Pretty much going to show that you don't need superpower to be a fucking badass. As for Eve, she ends up moving out of her parents' house, which is understandable given the fact that her father is a complete douchebag, and she ends up living on her own. She even ends up hanging out in the forest, and she decides that she can help people on her own after hanging out with Amber at the soup kitchen. As for the other two, Samson made a recovery and so did Monster Girl, thank God. And Robot really risked his ass to make sure that Monster Girl gets out safe, and it's pretty awesome of him. So this episode was pretty great as well. I did like it for the most part. The bickering between Mark and Amber is kind of annoying, I'm not going to lie. I mean, they make Amber worse in the next episode, but don't worry, we're going to get there in a second. But as this episode stands, I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty chill, it was pretty nice to see these characters just chilling out at this university. Pretty relatable, pretty cool. And I was actually scared because I thought Nolan was going to kill Art when he revealed that Nolan striked first, but no, he ends up chilling and sitting back. Episode's pretty good, pretty great. Debbie and Nolan are still on harsh terms, with Nolan saying he had no choice but to kill them, which makes a little bit of sense when you factor in episode 8. And as a result, he ends up leaving when Debbie says that she can't trust him anymore. Cecil ends up bringing Debbie into the secret facility. And back to Mark and Amber. Okay, fuck it. This episode is the reason why I don't like Amber. And it turns out that she revealed that she knew that he was invincible, quote unquote, weeks ago. And her reasons for why they're still fighting is as follows.
We're fighting because you lied to me.
You do realize that being a superhero means you can't go blabbing out your secret identity to just about everyone, right? That's why it's called a secret identity. Mark even makes this obvious in his lines. Next point.
You made me feel stupid and unimportant.
Well, you never did tell Mark that you knew that he was invincible, so if it's anybody's fault in that equation, it's yours. You should have told him. Like, you should have told him then instead of telling him fucking weeks later. And the whole, you make me feel unimportant, you're not the center of attention, bitch. There's other people out there whose lives are at stake. And given the fact that there's a fucking XB of Superman running around and killing people, yeah, I think you need to tone that attitude down just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. You know what I mean?
And because you don't trust me.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up and mind your fucking business, bitch!
As I've said before, when it comes to a secret identity, you can't just go blabbing that shit out to everybody. What, you think just because you guys have been boyfriend and girlfriend for 5 months? Oh, by the way, I'm a superhero, and yeah, I hope you're cool with it. And I'm gonna be late all the time. Like, for 5 months? Get off my neck. And what's even worse is that William bitches to Mark, and it it's justified because, yeah, Mark did kind of choose Amber over William when he needed him. Yeah, he even goes as far as saying that he was a bad boyfriend. But did you factor in that Amber knew this whole time? Come on. Even fucking Eve tells Mark that he was a bad boyfriend by leading her on. You fucking said that dating humans is a hard time. And you said yourself that you have to make sure that you're right about Amber. What the Okay, fuck it. I'm not even gonna argue with this. I'm not gonna argue with this. Back to the new Guardians of the Globe. Thank God Monster Girl makes a full recovery. And they throw a celebration for it, which is lovely to see. We cut back to the Molar twins, who are still working on that clone for Robot, or Ruby is his real name. And it turns out that the fetus thing is Robot, and he wants them to make a clone for him. And it's obvious he's doing this for Monster Girl. He even says it himself later. Everybody is understandably freaked out about this whole thing, especially Rex, who is freaked out the most. With Nolan, he tries practicing how he's going to tell his son that he killed the Guardians. Like, he really tries his best with this. And he decides, I should just tell my son. So Cecil ends up stopping him every step of the way, even confronting Nolan himself, even though he doesn't really stand a chance. He ends up throwing these cyborg things at Nolan, which he fucking takes down with ease, and then this creature that Nolan fought before. And then eventually Mark and him team up to take him down, but they get interrupted when Nolan ends up fighting this immortal guy who got brought back to life by the Molar twins, and he kills him again. Yeah, Mark takes down the creature and is horrified to discover that his dad is a killer. And then this leads to Nolan saying that they need to talk. Do I think this episode is great? Yeah, I think the ending portion is pretty great, but I personally don't like the moments where everybody is calling Mark an asshole for being a bad boyfriend. I mean, they add more to it by saying that he should have helped William, but most of the time it's just fucking bitching and complaining. Thankfully, they interrupted with other storylines from this episode, like with Debbie and Cecil at the facility. But it's fine. The ending is what makes it great for me personally. Nolan finally comes clean about who he really is and why he's really on Earth. So Viltrum is basically this evil group that thinks that they're the dominant life force and they need to destroy every planet that doesn't submit to them. And I remember this episode purely because this man called his wife a pet. He called her a pet. I shit you not. Here's the scene.
I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet to me.
And then this eventually leads to an outright brawl between Nolan and Mark, with Nolan beating the shit out of Mark as a way to teach his son a lesson. He even kills a couple of humans just to prove how pointless protecting humans is. The fucking train scene, oh my god, that scene itself is just so fucking crazy. Like, the animation in this show is fucking great, man. It's just so fucked. Ugh. And he just keeps beating the shit out of his son relentlessly. Punching his teeth out, fucking blinding him in one eye. And he could have delivered the killing blow, but he ends up flashing back to the part where Mark ended up winning a baseball game. And then we get our world famous meme.
Why did you make me do this? You're fighting so you can watch everyone around you die. Think, Mark!
And then we lead into the best part in this entire show, and I just gotta let this scene play out for itself.
What will you have after 500 years?
You, Dad. I still have you. Dad?
Honestly, this scene feels a lot like Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, when Luke tries to reach out to his father. Seriously, it feels the same and it hits hard. Fuck. Even when Mark is getting his ass whooped and he's near death, he still has hope in his father. Damn. And the rest of the episode is just fucking depressing. Seeing how Art, Debbie, and Mark react to the whole situation is just tough. And it's so dark. Even going as far as showing us how hurt Debbie is during this whole revolution. That her husband didn't really love her. Well, he does, but more like a pet and not like an actual wife. And he even says that in the grand scheme of things, her life is meaningless too. But this is mostly just Nolan trying to convince himself that what he's doing is right. Yeah, it's so fucked. Even at school, fucking Amber and William are depressed. Like, damn. So Amber, William, and Eve come by when Mark comes back from the hospital. I'm still waiting for my apology, bitch. Debbie ends up chilling with Art for a little bit to vent, and then she eventually asks Mark for a drink. And then Mark ends up chatting with this guy, Alan, and ends up explaining what's been going on. And then we see a endless barrage of clips of everything that's been left over from multiple villains. And they're probably going to be explored in the later season. Hopefully. In the next season, they're going to explore on it. But what's much more important to Mark is that he graduates high school. I gotta say, holy shit. This episode alone is dark, depressing, and fucked. Like, God. This is by far my favorite episode in the series, no contest. It has great action, it has character growth, it is dark, it has a character twist that works. That's something we rarely see in media, because usually when it comes to character twists, it's given to characters that we don't spend that much time with. With Nolan, we've come to know him, we've come to care about him, we've come to like him, and his twist makes sense. And when he decides not to kill his son, it makes sense because throughout the episodes, we've seen him genuinely bond with his son and his wife. I think this episode is great. And it leaves me intrigued to see where they're going with this series. I cannot wait for season 2 and 3. It's going to be fucking fun. I hope these new seasons are going to be just as great as the first season. I just hope so. I pray to God. Also, we should probably rank these episodes. Why not?
Now it's all out and you know. 'Cause I want it.
So yeah, the first season is pretty strong, and I cannot wait to see what Invincible has up their sleeves next. I really hope this isn't lightning in a bottle. I beg to God that this isn't Rick and Morty, where the first couple of seasons were great and then it went downhill. I hope that's not the case with this show. This show has so much potential. I heard that the original creators are working on it. That's what I've heard from some people. And so far it's great. These episodes are great. If you haven't seen Invincible, what are you doing, man? Give this show a watch. You're not going to be disappointed. You'll be entertained. You'll like the characters. You'll love the animation. You'll love the action scenes. If you love blood and gore, you're obviously going to love this show. And overall, this show is pretty goddamn strong. And yeah, that's my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had fun working on this one because I do like Invincible. If you guys have your own personal favorite episodes or your personal favorite character, tell me in the comment section below. My personal favorite character, it's a tie between the three main characters, Debbie, Mark, and Nolan. I like all three of them. They're just great characters. I can't wait to see where the other characters go from here. So, yeah, that's my video. If you guys enjoyed it, tell me what you guys think. Do you think this show is great? Do you think this show is overrated? Tell me in the comment section below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.